All that and much more in our special 30-minute segment on how Delhi is choking. Now, Supreme Court has realized the magnitude of the problem. The Supreme Court has now stepped in, and in the past also we saw that the Supreme Court made a couple of observations. Now, stepping into this raging debate on pollution, the Supreme Court has agreed to examine a suggestion to ban entry of all diesel-run trucks except those carrying essential goods into the national capital. In a bid to curb the rising pollution, the Supreme Court is also exploring options such as banning diesel cars in the capital. Dubbing rising pollution as a very serious issue, the Apex Court has asked the centre to come up with common minimum acceptable program after consulting all stakeholders. The Apex Court also made scathing observations saying high pollution levels are denting Delhi's image, its global image. Backing Delhi government's odd and even number policy, the Supreme Court bench has advocated a multi-pronged approach to deal with the situation. Now, if you see this map that is there on your screen right now, this actually shows a comparison of the air quality index, the AQI. So now we have Punjabi Bagh at this moment. The AQI this morning is 298. By the way, the safe limit is 50, and it can go up to 100 for it to be moderate. But 298 is disastrous, and it was 390 a couple of days back. Mandir Marg today is at 228. Yesterday it was at 275. Now these figures may not mean much, but this basically shows how polluted the air is. US Embassy is no safe. Today it's 301, yesterday it was 336. Slight dip, but this is not healthy at all. RK Puram, an important locality in South Delhi, today it's 263, yesterday it was 269. So we've seen a moderate dip in the air quality, moderate dip in the numbers as far as the AQI is concerned, which means the air quality has only slightly improved, but that does not really mean much because it has to be within 50, and you have seen the numbers. It's in 3 digits, which is in any case a very alarming situation. Now, through the course of this broadcast, many of our colleagues actually thought, why not give public transport a chance? Why not do something? Let's junk our car. Let's not travel in our car, and let's attempt at using public transport of this city. Many people say, where is the public transport? Such a bad public transport system in this city. Well, Preeti Chaudhary, India Today's Preeti Chaudhary decided, let's give public transport one chance. These were her findings.
For many of us living in the national capital this winter, it's difficult for us not to have an opinion on the rising pollution levels in the city. Well, there are a lot like me out there who don't want to add to the pollution but can't help it because they feel that taking out their cars is the only option. Well, to give the benefit of doubt, Delhi does have one of the best public transports to offer in the entire country. However, there are questions that remain to be answered, like last mile connectivity. Is it safe to actually take public transport? Well, those questions we're going to try and find answers to. I'm leaving office right now. It's about close to 8 p.m. I'm going to go from Noida to ITO. I'm meeting a friend there, and I've ditched my car. I've parked it in the basement, and we're going to see whether or not it's comfortable. So it didn't quite take us very long. It took us about 20 minutes to reach here. At the metro station, I'm at Sector 80 Noida metro station. I feel fairly safe and comfortable taking the metro from here. I'm lucky because what we are trying to do is make our way to ITO. Quick metro ride. All it took us is about 5 minutes, and we are at Yamuna Bank's metro station. But that is where the issue, the problem comes in. I need to go to ITO. One reason would be that I would need to take a metro all the way to Mandi House, which is in the heart of the national capital, then change and take a metro back to ITO. I don't want to quite do that. But when I just walk out of the metro station here, it's about 9 at night here. And there's just nothing. It's a desolate area. I don't know how am I going to get, forget about to ITO, even get to the main road. My only option once again is to take a rickshaw. Auto कहाँ मिलेंगे भैया? इधर कोई ऑटो नहीं है. So I've been able to come to the main road. Where I need to go is ITO, which is just about 1.5 kilometers or 2 from here. I've been trying to flag down an auto rickshaw, it's not happened. what the point that I'm trying to make is that my journey, which started about an hour and a half ago, would have taken just about 20 minutes to half hour if I would have taken my own car. Well, it's taken an hour and a half, but I don't mind that. If it helps me, aids me to do my bit to curtail the pollution in the national capital. But what I'm not good with the fact that I don't have the last 2 mile connectivity. Till the time, public transport in a city, and Delhi has great public transport, well, but it has its own set of issues as well. Until the time it seems like a chore. I still haven't reached my destination and I've already faced a fair bit of issues. And I do know, even though I don't want to, but from tomorrow, I would be taking my own car, unfortunately so. Reporting with camera person Prem, Preeti Chaudhary, just about 2 kilometers short of ITO in Delhi for India Today.
So safety is a big concern for women, and that was the whole idea of this experiment that Preeti conducted, to figure out whether public transport can be given a chance. To be honest, she gave it a shot, she gave it a chance, but her findings were not quite satisfactory, and that is why this is one area which Arvind Kejriwal, which the central government, the transport department will have to work on if they really want to implement this odd-even formula in a very effective way. Joining us this morning, Jugal Purohit. He joins us from Noida. It's a suburb very close to Delhi. Morning, Jugal. Can you tell us how's the air quality here in Noida? Noida, I think, is no different from Delhi. The air quality is pretty much the same in Noida as well. And Noida, is, because it is in Uttar Pradesh, this odd-even formula is not going to be implemented here. Can you speak to a few people who are with you? What do they feel? Are they concerned about the poor quality of air in Noida or not?
That's right. It's been a week since the High Court made those extremely scathing remarks on the Delhi administration by saying that Delhi has become a gas chamber. Those were the words which actually prompted an otherwise listless government into action, and after that is when we saw all these measures coming out. Yes, Noida is extremely close to Delhi. In fact, we are on the Greater Noida link road which connects Noida to Delhi, and I have with me a jogger, a doctor in fact. Sir, Noida will not have the odd-even implementation because it's not a part of Delhi. But what's the situation? You have resided in Noida. What's the situation that you face? What needs to be done according to you?
First, according to me, as far as this order by Kejriwal government is concerned, I think it is a very hasty and a Tughlaki-like farman that has been issued by the Kejriwal government. And in fact, according to me and many other pundits also, it has come as a godsend opportunity to avoid the Mahajogpal bill that they have introduced, and very successfully, they have diverted the attention of the middle class, especially the middle class.
On the pollution part of it.
Okay, as far as this pollution part is concerned, I think there are many more measures that can be taken rather than issuing this Tughlaki Farman. First thing is like widening of roads. Second thing is making more and more roads no stopover, making of more of these highways. Fourth is like making especially the industries more pollution free, making the government responsible for this rather than issuing this Tughlaki Farman. Suppose in this case I make 2 number plates and change them every day. Now, now who is going to check on
implementation? Will be a big issue.
Yes.
Will be a big issue.
It's interesting that the doctor is making this point because so far, Jugal, can you hear me?
Several other countries where we know that administration is very good, they can, yes, that's I think.
No, Jugal, you know, if you could ask this doctor a question. Jugal, please do ask this doctor a question. That so far as this odd-even formula is concerned, it all boils down to your personal honesty. Now, if a dishonest practice has to be done, if people are actually contemplating, let's have an even number plate and twist it into an odd number plate according to the day, whichever day suits us, then that is personal dishonesty towards a larger cause. Also, so far, there is no talk of any punitive action if you were actually found guilty.
That's right, Sanket. Even if we are to look at the implementation of normal day-to-day traffic manners and regulations, Delhi is obviously nowhere close to perfection. Noida, in fact, is worse. Doctor, I want you to tell us, the anchor Sanket was asking that you spoke about changing of number plates. A lot remains dependent on just your personal honesty or dishonesty. And as I was saying, the implementation of traffic norms as itself is bad. How do you think they will actually be managing to implement this?
Sir, I think, as far as I am concerned, I think there, in any society, there are 5 to 10% of the people who are honest, throughoutly honest, whether you put them in any condition, and 5 to 10% of the people, they are dishonest always. It is thus 80 to 90% of the people who sees the way the administration works. If the administration is more interested in just taking bribes, they will never be able to. They will just pay some bribe and then get away with it, because it's very difficult for a person to change the vehicle, or either he will have to buy 2 vehicles. One thing that can be introduced is, like from now onwards, they can, all the vehicles in Delhi and Noida should be of CNG only. That can be done, and make the CNG cheaper.
So that was Dr. Sunil Sharma. These are in fact among the issues. Thank you so much, sir. These are among the issues. Tax incentives for CNG. These are being discussed. And Sanket, if I may just add, there was a discordant note that the administration struck when it announced this policy, which is when we saw the traffic department saying we were not in the loop, the municipal authorities saying we were not in the loop. It does seem more of placing the cart before the horse, and it's now that Arvind Kejriwal, after announcing the policy, is going about mending fences and, in a sense, getting people on board. So this is a real concern. How well will
the people feel that he did not think this through? Absolutely, Jugal. Many thanks for joining us. Jugal joining us from Noida. Now, on Wednesday, we spoke to Dr. Trehan, Dr. Naresh Trehan, top doc, on what he feels about this entire condition in Delhi. Now, he ended up showing us something which when we put it out on social media, it went viral. This comparison of a person, a 52-year-old person from Delhi, and the lungs of a 52-year-old person from Himachal Pradesh. Just look for yourself and figure out yourself. And these are people who are non-smokers, by the way. That Delhi resident's lung is purely by virtue of staying in the national capital. This is the impact, in black and white, the impact of what is happening in the national capital. This is how your lungs are turning charcoal black because of the quality of the air that you are breathing. Just look at this comparison. And the moment we put this out on social media, on our digital platforms, this picture went viral. People started talking about this, and this picture has actually got a lot of people concerned, and they're talking about this. So we'll keep tracking this development. We have to do this. We have to make that change, because this impact is real. This difference that you see between the lungs is real. It's happening for real. We'll also run the excerpts of that interview with Dr. Naresh Trehan, where he made this comparison. Let's take a short break at this moment. Lots more news and updates. We put out these pictures that Dr. Naresh Trehan shared with us. He was performing a heart surgery, and he chanced upon a photograph of a person from Delhi, his lung. This is a non-smoking, perfectly healthy gentleman who has stayed in Delhi for close to 15 years. And that is his lung. That is what Delhi's air has done to his lungs. And this is a person from Himachal Pradesh. He had come to get his heart surgery done. Look at how this is pink in color. This basically means that the tissues are fine. This is what he told us. And this is just a pictorial differentiation, a pictorial representation of what bad air can actually do to your lungs. And this is inviting trouble for your body. Now, this is a comparison which has gone viral on social media ever since we put this out on the India Today Group digital platforms. Let's now listen in to what Dr. Naresh Trehan told us 2 days ago about this lung comparison.
I operate every day on hearts, and while doing that, we also look at the lungs of people, so we know what effect the quality of the air is doing to the lungs of residents of different areas. So if you look at it from people, if you look at people in the urban areas like Delhi, especially from Delhi, we have pictures, and like pictures like this, where you will see that there is a huge amount of charcoal deposit. It's like almost what we call black lungs.
Oh God, that's a Delhi lung.
That's a Delhi lung.
Does
a
that
resident.
mean, Dr. Trehan, that this is the standard Delhi lung of a person living in Delhi for say,
Well,
10 years maybe?
It looks like that. I've seen it hundreds of times, and definitely, if you look at it in contrast with people who live in rural areas or hilly areas,
Okay.
like people from Himachal and all,
Yeah.
same age. This gentleman comes from Himachal,
Okay.
and you
There's a
can
huge
see
difference.
see the difference. This is what the normal lung should be, the pinkness of the lung tissue, because there is blood flowing through it, exchanging oxygen. So the stark contrast tells the whole story. It's like saying that look, if you are being exposed to this kind of pollution for prolonged periods of time, this is what it will look like.
How many years are we talking about? How many years?
This gentleman is 52 years old, but till 10 years ago, there was very little pollution. In fact, we had a crisis 10 years ago,
Right.
and after looking at these lungs, the pictures like this, at that time, there was a huge movement for moving towards CNG.
Right.
And there was Justice Kuldeep Singh, who became the Green Judge, and he, having looked at the pictures I had presented at a conference, just obsessively went after it, and you can see what benefits we got from CNG.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, though all those benefits have been neutralized by now. So we know from the past experience that it is going to be a hard decision on our part. There will be some hardship along the way. But if you want to save yourself, if you want to save your families, if you want to leave the generations for your grandchildren and the future of humanity, we must act now.
That was Dr. Naresh Trehan there explaining the difference, what lungs can actually, what bad air can actually do to your lungs. Now we put these pictures out only last night. Amazing amount of likes and shares as well as retweets that we are getting on social media, because people realize a picture actually speaks out larger than words, and people realize that this concerns them. This could be perhaps the condition of their lung as well, and that is why it's gone viral on social media. You too can participate in this series. You too can share your views, your opinion, your concerns, but the point is, not acting is not an option.